Okay, so this is going to seem really quick and really crazy, but I was sitting here at my laptop and, I was thinking over everything that had happened, and also, I did a bit of chatting with some friends and I poked around at basically at some photos of a guy that I used to be really, really, really hung up on, and um, I did a bit of Bible reading, as you can probably see if you've been watching my channel. And, you know, the thing that I found myself feeling is, hang on, not that long ago, there was another guy that I really, really liked, and I thought I liked him enough that I thought I would never be able to handle being friends with him. And then I ended up managing to, become friends with him within like a month of him rejecting me. And then, there's this other guy who rejected me and I managed to be friends with him. And there's another guy where we had a mutual rejection, I managed to be friends with him. Really, make a good case for why I couldn't turn this current situation into a friendship. And bizarrely, I found that already inside myself I had the emotional room for it. I wasn't expecting to see that emotional room happening so fast, but I felt it and I was like, why don't I honor this, Because, wh- while I while I can't in good conscience have any other type of relationship with him, I can have friendship with him. And even if he and I weren't like close friends, even with other guys I've had rejections with, like where he rejected me or I rejected him, we've been able to stay Facebook friends. So at the very least, why don't I treat like why not keep him as a contact on Discord? You know, and yeah, why not? You know what I mean? And you know, because the thing I found is that even though I didn't want to talk to him because of the moral and ethical and philosophical differences, he and I, you know what I mean? I still learned things from the experience that I went through, even if it was painful. So it makes sense in my mind to try to do friendship with him. Um, because friendship, at least I learn, I can learn things from that too. And I can keep learning. I can keep learning. Um, and yeah, I can find out what not running away looks like. I mean, to his credit, after I unfriended him on Discord, he friended me again, and he was like, "Let's, I do you think it would be healthy if we didn't talk for a bit?" And I agreed to that because actually even before he said that, I'd been thinking maybe it would be good if he and I didn't talk for a while. So yeah, I agreed to that, and yeah, he hasn't replied to me, to other things I've said since then. So fair enough. But I feel good about myself. I mean, it's kind of scary to know that I've been through the process of rejection this many times, that I can like go turn a 360 this quickly. It's kind of freaky, but if I have the power, why not do it? Um, because yeah, I've already trained my brain well enough, I think, that I have all these strategies I can turn to help myself get over somebody much more quickly, and not just the videos I talked about, but I mean even I rewatched a much earlier video from just November last year where and I'm gonna put the link to it below because I was listening to it and just hearing myself talk about another time I had to get over somebody. um you know it even though I was talking about a totally different person in the video, it felt like it was really speaking to me right now because the situation I talk about in the video was the hardest rejection I ever got over. And, so yeah, being able to hear myself talk about, the process and the things I was going through felt really encouraging. It made me feel like, oh, I've been here before. This is old Shona talking to new Shona, and giving her some pretty good advice. And oh, that sounds a little narcissistic as I say that. That's a little scary. But anyway, it's there. And so yeah. I'll be honest and say that I'm not expecting to hear from him ever again, if I'm honest with myself. Right now, I mean, obviously I'd like it if he and I really could have a good and proper, honest friendship with none of the weirdness he and I have had before, but, you know, because, yeah, this isn't the first time we've talked about really just being friends. And, you know, it's been problems before, and, yeah, I don't want problems again. And I'm just remembering, you know, one guy I was involved with for a while where he and I kept saying, we're going to be friends, we're going to be friends, but then every time I was alone with him, he would try to get sexual things going on with me, and I was just like, dude, are we friends or not? And yeah, it was a really unhealthy situation, and I don't want to end up there again. But yeah, I'm older now, and I'm more mature now, and I'm more experienced now, and so now, if I really, really need to say no to a guy, I can do it. So it's not as much of a problem. Yeah. And you know, I am feeling a kind of emotional and sort of biological kind of overhang, like there's a part of myself that wants to go somewhere but has no one to go to. So I'm thinking I might, you know, poke around at some old celebrity crushes of mine. Just, you know, again, as one of those strategies for getting over a guy, I found that if I really indulge in celebrity crushes for a while, it really can help me to feel a lot better um, about, yeah. Hang on, okay, as an additional failsafe, I just put him on mute for the next 8 hours, just so that I'm not going to be subconsciously waiting for him to reply to my messages, so that, but I can still have Discord open, and that way, you know, if I need to message with friends, I can. And also, you know, I just find, yeah, sometimes it feels really good when people message me and we can have a good chat. Yeah, it gives me a lot of life back. Yeah, because that's one of the mistakes I think a lot of people make during a rejection or a breakup. They isolate themselves and they stay away from friends. And, you know, when really what they need to do is, yeah, what they really need to do is be around people. They really need to keep having their friendships, keeping that alive. Um, Yeah, as it is this evening, I spent a bit of time with Yoshi, and that, you know, she was acting a bit different from usual, as in I put her to bed once, and then she climbed out of the cage and popped out and went back to her food jars. You know, usually once I cover her up for the night, she's just down for the night. But yeah, this time she popped out and wanted to eat for a while and wanted to sit on my shoulder for a while and have a bit of a cuddle for a while. And it did make me feel a lot better to be able to cuddle and kiss with her for a bit. Um, and then after a while, she went to bed. You know, she went to bed properly this time, and she's staying in there, which tells me that she probably is legitimately down for the night. You know, I don't want to go straight over to dealing with my cat because I'm still wearing kimono from the stuff that I did today. Right now, I'm wanting to keep going through and reading through Bible passages, not just because it's a Sunday, but also just because I'm finding it really helpful for, you know, dealing with my feelings. A lot of what's being said in it, you know, is speaking to how I feel right now and speaking to the situation for me. And part of what I was reading actually did shape my decision making because it was like, you know, do your best to honor God, do your best to honor those values. And I thought, well, what are my values? Do the values involve running away just because things didn't go the way that I was expecting? No. Do the rules involve, you know, trying to give people mercy and forgiveness and to be there for them even if they won't give you what you want? Yes. Yes, it does say that. Does it talk about holding yourself to integrity even when there's challenges, even when it's going to hurt? Yes. Does it talk about, just only acting from a place of self-protection and not thinking about the responsibilities you might have to other people and how they feel? No. So yeah, with all of that being the case, I've had to stop and go, okay, this guy, like I said, he's told me he's lonely, and what do I do? I kick him out. I kick him out of my life. Like, that's really horrible. That's not the right thing to do if he was telling me the truth. And yeah, it's still the case that it was, I think he made some mistakes with me, but does that mean I should punish him? No. Like, does the Bible say that it's the job of the Christian to go around punishing people? No. Does it say to forgive them and to try to give them the kind of grace and mercy and acceptance that God offers? Yes. So, that's my decision making right now. And to be honest, now that I've made this decision, I do feel less torn up. Like, I'm a bit sad that things worked out like this. I'm a bit sad. Yeah. The fact that he was like, let's take some time apart, like, that implies that he's more hurt over this than he's letting on, perhaps. Which is fair enough. I'm for the next week, I'm probably going to be pretty busy because one of my customers has contacted me and is like, I need such and such ready by such and such a day. Can you please get that ready for me? And so I'm gonna try to do that for her. It's a bit of a thing because one of the things I got ready for her kind of has a bit of, like, I suspect that I may have shrunk the waist a bit too much, which is okay, I can fix it, but it's a bit niggly. It's a bit niggly to have to go back over it again. I'm a bit sick of it. But it's gonna, yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's gonna, yeah, in the end it's gonna look good. And yeah, I have things to look forward to, like in early July, which is like over a month from now, but early July I'll be going and seeing Terminator 2 in my favorite movie theater with one of my best friends. Well, in my eyes, he's one of my best friends. I don't think he feels as close to me as I do to him. Again, it's one of those things where I feel really close to someone and I love them, but they don't love me. They don't feel like they know me enough, which again I find it's a little hard at times. It's a little frustrating. This time he's just a friend though. I mean, yeah, okay, sometimes I have looked at him and thought, hey, he's a really stable, nice guy. If I married him, I'd probably be doing okay in life, but I'm not, like, in love with him. It's not that sort of thing. It's just more like it'd be a marriage of convenience kind of feeling. But yeah, I don't want to do the thing of just getting married because I can. I do want to actually marry someone I love. So, yeah. But just, yeah, I'm hearing myself talk like that, and I'm like, great, I've returned to the mindset I had before I met this guy. Like, I'm not feeling, like, and granted, I might not stay on this cloud. I might end up falling back down again later and feeling sad for myself like I kind of did before, but, the thing that I can take pleasure in is knowing that I've lived up to my principles as best as I can given the circumstances. Because it wasn't an easy set of choices. It was really, really hard. And yeah. Sometimes you gotta just have integrity. You gotta just do the best you can even though things are imperfect. I've just received a message on Facebook, it sounds like, so I'm gonna go look at that. Actually, why don't I look at it while I still have this video on? Just in case it's like a big deal. Oh, it's a friend of mine. Oh, and she was, yeah, she was one of the friends I invited to the games night, but in the end she was just like, unable to come. Whoa, the guy's replied to me. He's replied a bunch of stuff. Yeah, he's like, okay, he's basically giving me don't call me, I'll call you. I'm uncertain of how to respond to that because it's kinda... Because the immediate thought in my head is, but I feel like I'm always waiting for you to message me, and that occupies my mind a whole lot more. And yeah, but yeah, now that I just want to be friends with him, my thought is I'm not going to let myself think about him as much anyway. I'm going to deliberately go out of my way to sort of push him out of my mind and to think about other people instead. So yeah, I'm gonna say the thing to him that I was thinking, which was that if I didn't message him, he probably wasn't going to message me ever. That was what I was thinking. Yeah, I'll be straight up with him. Like it's a mean thing to say. It's not very nice. It's not nice that I was ever thinking it. But I think I can find a way of wording it where it sounds less disrespectful than it could potentially sound. But yeah, yeah, I'm trying to think of how to answer because I'm not the sort of, like, for me the labor was not messaging him. For me, messaging him was no labor at all. You know, that wasn't the labor. For me, the labor was it was more the sensation of, does he ever want to talk to me? Like, when I talk to him, am I annoying him? But if I don't talk to him, am I excluding him? You know, that having to worry about that is the real labor. That was the real labor. The anxiety, the uncertainty. Now that I'm like deciding he's just going to be my friend 100% and not like I'm really, really much more dedicated to excluding any thought of anything else, you know, than I was before. I don't think I'm gonna have such a tough time as I had. Like, and even if I do, I'm not gonna be like seeing him as responsible for that anymore because, yeah. And the immediate thought I'm having is, is he trying to say he doesn't want me to message him? Period. Like, is that what's going on? And if it is, that's a little insulting. But then again, if that's like, if he just doesn't want to talk to me, but see that's the thing. I'm falling into that assumption again of he doesn't want to talk to me at all. When if he didn't want to talk to me, he just wouldn't. Like, this is it's Discord. If he wanted to block me or delete me, he totally could. Or if he just wanted to like even mute me for like what I just did, like for 8 hours, so that I wouldn't have to think about it. Yeah. Yeah, but then he, like, if I tell him the anxiety is not knowing whether or not he wants me to talk to him, he's going to just be like, well then yeah, that's all the more reason for you to wait for me, I guess. I don't know. Why don't I just talk to him? And yeah. The thought I'm having is, if indeed he has been subscribed to the channel and watching the videos, yeah, he's going to, that's an uncomfortable thought. That is a very uncomfortable thought. It's an embarrassing thought, frankly. But then again, like I said, there's all these other people who have been watching and they haven't, you know, decided that I'm like not human, that I'm just like a dirty animal. So yeah, I shouldn't assume things like that. I shouldn't assume that it has to be a disaster. Yeah, look, the thing that I know about myself is I've come this far, I've learned this much. I have good reasons to think that I could be okay, like regardless of what happens onwards of here, because I'm resilient. apparently I can recover. Even if I feel really awful one moment, I've gotten very good at finding a different perspective where I can be okay with it. And, you know, that muscle of turning the perception of somebody from, you know, a love interest to a friend is a lot better than it used to be. I think it helps that I had a guy friend who kept jumping between talking about me as a potential wife and then talking to me as like we're definitely just friends, and he kept jumping back and forth between that, and he, you know, over and over again. And yeah, I allowed him to, I guess, because I was favorable towards both really with him. With him I would have been happy to do either. Um but you know, the fact that he couldn't make up his mind was also very frustrating. So recently I did go ahead and stand up to him because, yeah, he was still talking like, oh, maybe I could marry you one day, but at the same time he was talking like, no, I only want to date people local to me. I don't want to date over the internet anymore. Um, and, you know, to that I was like, so hang on, you're expecting me to sit here and be like, oh, we could get married one day, but at the same time you're off trying to snog with other women. Really? Like that seems kind of, you know, that seems really dodgy. Um, and yeah, it places me in this place of ambiguity of, well, does that mean I should like just wait for you, or does it mean I go and date other guys like in the meantime, but deliberately with the intent for them to be temporary, and you know, or I just do I just go with the flow? Like what, you know, I don't like ambiguity. I like having a plan. I like having a plan. And to his credit, like the guy that I was talking to now, he is attempting to form a plan with me. So I think I will cooperate. I think I will. And I'm gonna try to be honest with him.